Have you ever been in the middle of an argument with your wife, or maybe one just ended and your mind goes to the same place every time? She's too critical, she's too controlling, she's always on my case. Or maybe your thoughts flip the other way. She's right, I can't get anything right. Why can't I figure this out? And regardless of which story is running in your head, your response is the same. You shut down, you withdraw, or you disappear because it feels too hard. The fight cools down, maybe a few days go by, but then the same thing happens again. She says something, you react the same way, and you're back in the same cycle. What if I told you that the real problem isn't her, and it isn't you? What if it's the cycle you're both trapped in, the one that you both play a part in? It's the dance you've memorized, and the only way out is for one of you to change the steps. Today, we're going to talk about that cycle. I'll show you how it plays out in real life, why it keeps you stuck, and how to interrupt it with something different. Once you can see it clearly, you'll know exactly where you have the power to shift the rhythm of your marriage and start leading it in a different direction. Stick around because this is one you don't want to miss. Welcome to Better Husband, the podcast that helps you answer the question, how can I be a better husband? I'm Angelo Santiago, a men's marriage and relationship coach, and every week I bring you practical insights to help you strengthen your marriage and become the best husband you can be. Now, twice a month, I sit with the men inside of Better Husband Academy for our online office hours. And I'll tell you, no matter what else we talk about, whether it's trust, repair, intimacy, this one thing always comes up: the cycle they're stuck in with their wife. It's the same in my one-on-one coaching too. Different guys, different backgrounds, but when we get into it, they describe the exact same loop. And I've lived it in my own marriage as well. It's called the stance, dance. And here's how it works. She takes a stance, maybe she gets sharp, maybe she gets critical, maybe she starts pushing because she doesn't feel you there, and then you take your stance. You defend, you explain, you go quiet, you pull back, and together, those two stances turn into a dance you both know too well. She pushes harder, you disappear further, and suddenly, the two of you are locked into a pattern that neither of you want. And I can think of plenty of nights in my own marriage where this happened. My wife would bring something up, maybe something logistical about the house, or maybe wanting to get more into my emotional world or how I was showing up. And instead of hearing the need underneath, I'd feel criticized or annoyed or frustrated. I'd shut down or I'd get short. And of course, she'd come in stronger because from her perspective, I was checking out. And before I knew it, we weren't even talking about the real issue anymore. We were just stuck in our stance, dance. That's why this is so important. Because if you don't see the stance for what it is, you'll think the problem is her tone, or you'll think the problem is your defensiveness, but the real problem is the cycle itself. And until you interrupt it, you'll keep repeating it. Let me go into a little more detail about what I mean by the stance, dance. Like I mentioned earlier, it starts when she takes a stance. Maybe she's sharp, critical, maybe she's pushing because she doesn't feel you, and that's her stance. Then you take yours. You defend, you argue, you go quiet, you pull back. Whatever your move is, that's your stance. And here's the important part. Once those two stances lock in, the dance begins. She pushes more because she feels you pulling away. You withdraw further because her push feels unbearable. More push, more retreat, more. That's how the cycle escalates. When I work with men, I'll often break it down piece by piece. I'll say, okay, what did she do? Then I ask, and what did you do to that? And then I go back. What did she do to that? And then what did you do to that? And back and forth until we can see the pattern clearly. Because the point isn't the content of the fight, whether it was about the dishes, the kids, or the money. The point is the cycle. And once you see it, you can see how both of you are reinforcing the very thing you don't want. It's called a stance, dance because it's two rigid positions that create a repetitive loop. And the truth is both people are convinced that they're right. She thinks, I can't get through to him unless I push harder. And you think, I can't survive the push, so I have to pull away. And neither of you is trying to blow up the marriage. You're both protecting yourselves, but together you're building a dance of disconnection. The real success I see with men in Better Husband Academy or in my one-on-one coaching is when they stop obsessing over the content of the argument and start noticing the cycle itself. Because the marriage doesn't change when you win the fight. The marriage changes when you change the dance. Now that you see the stance, dance, let's zoom in on what makes it so destructive. From her side, when you go quiet, when you pull back or shut down, it doesn't feel like you're being calm. It feels like you're gone. It feels like abandonment. And when she feels abandonment, her instinct is to push harder to get you back. So maybe she raises her voice, or maybe she asks again, or maybe she sharpens her tone, or she doubles down on the criticism, not because she wants to nag, but because she's desperate for you. From your side, that push doesn't feel like a bid for connection. It feels like an attack. It feels like control. It feels like nothing you do is ever good enough. And so your instinct is to retreat, to get quiet, to pull away, to wait for the storm to pass. That's why the cycle is so powerful. Each move makes sense from inside the person doing it. She pushes because she feels you leaving. You withdraw because you feel her coming on too strong. But together, those two moves feed each other. Her push creates more of your withdrawal. Your withdrawal creates more of her push. More push, more retreat, more push. That's the more, the more. This is why so many men will say, she's impossible. No matter what I do, it's never enough. And just as often, women say, he's impossible. No matter what I do, I can't reach him. Both feel trapped. Both feel powerless. Both feel like they're the reasonable one. And both are missing the real issue. The dance is the problem, not the people. When I work with clients, I might stop them right in the middle of telling me about the content of their fight. And I'll say, hold on, let's put a pause on the details of what started the fight. I want to know what the dance looked like. She did what? And then you did what? Then she did what? And we map it out. You can see it clearly. The content changes, but the cycle is exactly the same. As long as you keep responding the same way, you're helping to keep the dance alive. You're not just a victim of her push, you're a partner in the pattern. And that's actually good news, because if you're a partner in the pattern, then you have the power to change it. The most important thing you can take from this is simple. You might think stepping back buys you some peace, but to her, stepping back feels like being left alone, which is the last thing she wants in the moment. She feels the distance, she feels the absence, and the more you disappear, the more she panics and comes at you harder. So if you want her to stop coming in so hot, the answer isn't waiting her out, it's learning how to stay in the room without shutting down. That's how you start breaking the cycle. If you can see the dance, you can change it. And that is what we're going to dissect next. I want to take a quick break to tell you that I have a brand new workshop available and it's totally free. If you've been listening to this podcast and you're ready to go deeper, I want you to check out my training, The 3 Secrets to Becoming a Better Husband Without Endless Therapy, Hating the Process, or Pretending to be Someone You're Not. Inside, I walk you through 3 key shifts that changed everything for me in my marriage and for the men who have used this to lead more connected, intimate, and grounded relationships. You can watch it now at betterhusbandsecrets.com, and like I said, it's totally free. It's the clearest breakdown I've ever shared of what actually changes a marriage from the inside out. So if you're ready to really do this work, go to betterhusbandsecrets.com or click the link in the show notes. Now, back to the show. Most men I work with think they have 2 options, either fight back and try to win the argument or withdraw and wait for it to blow over. But there's a third option, and this is what actually changes the marriage, is learning how to interrupt the cycle in that moment. Like I mentioned earlier, when I'm coaching a man through this, I'll slow him down and walk him step by step through what happened. And you can do this too for yourself. She said this, what did you do? You did that, what did she do next? And we keep going with the cycle until it gets to the end, which usually looks like one person leaving the room or the silent treatment for the rest of the day or something else. We map it out until the pattern is clear. And once he can see it, I'll ask, okay, what's one place in this loop where you could do something different? That's the key. Not fixing everything at once, not rewriting the entire marriage in one night, just one small interruption in the pattern. So instead of withdrawing, maybe you pause and you say, I hear that you're upset with me right now. I feel the urge to get defensive or to shut down, but I know that's not going to be helpful. Can we slow down, take a breath, and just move a little slower? And that's not fighting back, and it's not disappearing. It's staying steady, doing your best to stay grounded. Or maybe you ask a curious question. Can you tell me what feels hardest about this for you? And then just listen. Again, you're engaging, you're shifting the rhythm of the regular dance. And here's the thing, when you show up just slightly different, she can't keep dancing the same way. She may still be upset, she may still push, but the loop is broken because you didn't play your usual role. This is relational leadership. It's when you stop letting the cycle run you and you start choosing how you want to show up in each moment consistently enough that the old patterns begin to lose its grip. The point is this: you don't have to change her to change the marriage. You just have to change your stance, which in turn will change the dance. Now, let's go a little bit deeper because there's always more if you're willing to look at it. Many of us were raised to believe that relationships are a power struggle, that if she gets her way, you lose. If you give in, you've surrendered control. So when I tell some men to yield instead of withdraw or defend, they'll often say, but if I do that, doesn't that just mean she wins? That's the old script. That's the belief that if she wins, you lose, and it's dead wrong. You have to think relationally. If you do something that is good for the marriage, you both win. And you start building an environment where you both get more of what you want because that is what you both deserve. Leaning in doesn't mean you hand over your power. It means you use your power differently. You use it to stay grounded when she's emotional. You use it to keep the door open instead of slamming it shut. You use it to create space where the two of you can actually work together. And what I know to be true is that most men aren't actually afraid of intimacy. They're afraid of losing in negotiation. They confuse collaboration with giving up power, but the truth is refusing to negotiate is what actually weakens you. It keeps you stuck in a stance that guarantees more distance. When I work with clients, I'll remind them this isn't about winning or losing. It's about leading for the benefit of your marriage. And real leadership in marriage means being willing to move the conversation forward, even if it's uncomfortable. It means saying, I hear what you're asking for. Here's what I can give. Here's what I need. And here's where I think we can meet. That's partnership. And that's how you move from a power struggle to a connection where both of you actually feel heard. If this is something you're ready to put into action this week, here are some steps you can take to break the dance. 1, map the last argument. Take 5 minutes and write it out. What did she say or do? Then what did you say or do? What did she do to that? What did you do next? Keep going until you see the full loop. Don't focus on the topic, focus on the pattern. 2, choose one interruption point. Look at the loop and ask, where could I have responded differently? Circle just one moment. You don't need to rewrite the whole argument. Just identify the place where you could have shifted your stance. 3, practice a new response. Next time, instead of withdrawing or defending, try something small. Say, I feel myself getting defensive, but I want to stay with you. Give me just one moment and I'll do my best to stay present. Or if you feel clear and grounded, just ask, can you tell me what feels hardest about this for you? Your goal is to stay steady, even if it's just 1 extra minute, or to lead the conversation forward from a relationally open space. And 4, reflect after the moment. Don't expect a perfect outcome. You'll likely still be stuck in some form of the dance because you've both been doing it for so long. But afterward, ask yourself, did I change my stance? Did I stay grounded 1 beat longer than usual? Did anything change in our dance? What could I do slightly different next time? That's progress you're looking for. The dance only shifts when you shift. Now, if you're looking for some prompts to journal on or just think about, sit with these reflection questions. When she pushes, what's my default move? Do I defend, withdraw, or something else? What do I imagine she feels in that moment when I pull back or shut down? Where in our last argument could I have made a different move, even a small one? What would it look like for me to stay steady and engaged 1 beat longer than usual? How might changing my stance change the dance between us? Here's what I want you to walk away with from this episode. The cycle isn't just hers, and it isn't just yours. It's the dance you've both been doing. And here's the important piece. It only takes one person to change the rhythm. When you change your stance, when you stop withdrawing, stop fighting, and start staying steady, the whole dance shifts. But in all honesty, it will take work and it will take time. The question is, do you want a different outcome or do you want it to stay the same and wait to see what happens next time? Changing your stance is how you can start building a marriage that works for both of you. So start today. If you want to go deeper into the work of becoming a better husband, I put together a free training called The 3 Secrets to Becoming a Better Husband Without Endless Therapy, Hating the Process, or Becoming Someone You're Not. Inside, I'll walk you through the exact shifts that helped me save my own marriage and that I now use with the men I coach every day. You can watch it right now at betterhusbandsecrets.com. Again, that's betterhusbandsecrets.com, or just click the link in the show notes. Thank you for listening and supporting the show. I'm Angelo Santiago, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for listening. Before you go, I have a quick request. If you've ever gotten any value from the show and you want the show to continue to grow, to access bigger and more knowledgeable guests, and to keep providing you with more ways that you can be a better husband in your marriage, simply leave a rating and a review if you're listening on Apple or Spotify. It only takes a few seconds, and those reviews go a long way in attracting more experts and bigger guests to the show. So if you're feeling up to it, as a favor to me, I'd love to see a rating and a review from you. Thank you so much for being a listener and all your support.